Alright, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we are going to do something that hopefully is going to help out some other people in my situation. We are back on our 2017 6.2 F250 gas. So we recently switched from diesel to gas because of the spike in diesel prices. Not look like coming down any soon. So we bought a gas truck, and this is the first time we actually bought an XL. So this is basically a work truck. I bought it from the auction. If you follow the channel, then you already know that I do a bunch of salvage titles and everything. And if you don't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we bring all kinds of good content you probably want to know. I picked this truck up wrecked for $5,000, and I'm only about $9,000 in this truck right now. And I have been extremely happy, extremely pleased with it. It tows well, it tows good. Perfect for what I need. It's a long bed, which is perfect for racing. You can have plenty of room if you're traveling, throw stuff in there, golf cart, whatever the situation may be. One thing the truck is missing, let me show you. So it is missing the cruise control. Now the steering wheel's upside down. This is just your selectors. It is an XL, so it has all of the power windows, power locks, all of that stuff, but it does not have the cruise control on there. This is just a windshield wiper. So this is just a base lower end model, but it works perfect for exactly for what I need. So we are going to be adding cruise control to this truck. All right, so this is the kit we picked up. Let's see here. It is for a Ford Super Duty. There's the part number for the one we are installing. And the name of this kit, I think, is pronounced Rostra. I'm not sure 100% how to pronounce that. But yeah, I don't see a lot of information on the internet about this kit. It's on some other vehicles and everything, but I didn't quite see it perfect for this truck. And the video that I did find for this truck was not necessarily from somebody who does YouTube, so it was very rough. Somebody just decided to put a video up to help people out. So I'm going to try to install this, and as I install it, make sure I go over the steps. So if you're looking into a kit like this, maybe this will better help you than the other videos. So the first thing they want you to do, just like on pretty much anything else, is disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. So on the first part of the instructions, they want you to take this box and then this plug that has the double plugs, and it shows that you're going to connect this plug to the accelerator pedal. Now if you look at this diagram, this one has a nipple on it, this one does not. So when you look at your plugs, it's going to be the same way. This is the one over here that has the push release, and this is the one that has the little nipple on it. That's the way it's going to go. So the one with the nipple is going to connect to the accelerator pedal. So this one's going to go to your accelerator pedal, and that does plug in on the left side of the box. All right, so if you come under here to accelerator pedal, and as you can see, this truck is dirty underneath the dash because it was a work truck. I've cleaned it up immensely. You're going to have that red clip right there. You're going to take a flathead and you're just going to pop that up. I've already popped that up. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take your hands and you're going to squeeze that and unplug it. So you're going to squeeze it right there, and that's going to unplug. Now this kit, a little bit of common sense will tell you that what this kit is designed to do is to basically bridge these together. So obviously this one with the nipple, now that I look at it, compared to the instructions, this is not actually plugging into your accelerator pedal because this is a male since it has the nipple. This is a female since it has the actual clip. So your pedal is a male. So you can't put the two males together, obviously. So this is now going to plug onto your pedal like this, and then your old wiring harness from the truck right there with the red clip is going to now plug into this side, and this is going to bridge the factory harness to the pedal and spit these wires outside of it so it can intercept the drive-by-wire pedal. And yes, when you're done, you should probably clean all these wires up nice and neat, maybe put them in some wire loom. This is not a race car, so I don't care. We'll just make sure they're tucked up and zip tied out the way, but this is what it should look like when you're done. You have your new plug, okay, plugged into your pedal, and then your factory truck side plugged into your other plug onto your harness with all these wires coming out. Let's move on to the next step. We have our box sitting here. We haven't touched our hot or our ground yet. We're gonna go check the book. All right, the next part is gonna be involving your brake switch. Okay, so here's your brake pedal, and if we go up underneath here, you can see that blue piece up there. That's going to be the part of the brake switch plug. So if you take your side panel out right here, I actually stuck my hand through here, okay, and was able, see if I can get it to focus, was able to get up in there and undo that. So you're going to have a clip on this side of the white plug that you have to push. I have already done it. You can see that clip right there. And then that's gonna pull this plug out so that you can easily work on it. Let's see where we're at from right here, okay? That way it's hanging down. All right, now in our instructions, it says right here that we are gonna plug this plug in on our box, okay? So the one farthest from the right side if you're looking at the sticker on top. And we are going to connect our white and brown wire off of our box to the violet and white wire on the brake pedal switch. That's gonna be our first wire. So with the plug plugged into the box, farthest to the right, sticker side up, you're gonna come in here, grab your white and brown wire, which is gonna be this end one right here, white and brown on the very end of the plug. And that is gonna go into the violet wire on here. So let's see here. It's gonna be this one right here. So if you're looking at the plug side, the clip side, it's gonna be the one to the left if you're looking at the clip side, right here that my finger's on. So we're gonna connect these wires together. And what I'm gonna use to connect these, just like when we do trackers for cars, for payment cars, is you use these kits. Now you can get these kits off of Amazon, eBay, or anything like this, but or anything like that. But basically these go over the wire. They clamp over the wire so you don't have to cut your factory wire. And then they create a female terminal that you can then take a male connector, okay, a spade male connector, and slip it on. So that's how we're gonna do, so we're not actually cutting our factory wire system up or our factory harness system up, and make this easy. So let's get these connections made and I'll show you. All right, the next step is gonna be connect our blue wire to our gray and red wire of the vehicle on the brake switch wire and harness connector. So we are going to look on that same connector, and you can see I now have my wire connected. So we have used the female terminal on the cruise control and then the clamp on that. And we are going to be connecting the brown. We are going to be looking for the gray and red wire, which looks like it's going to be this one right here on this end, because it's the only red wire that's under here, even though I don't see gray on it, but we will try that one. And on this, it says gray/red, so we would assume that that's like that one, you know, a white and brown. But, you know, this also could be interpreted either gray wire or red wire. I'm sure that, you know, these are not the most clear instructions. We went with the red wire since that's the closest that matches to these recommendations or instructions. So we'll hope that works. We're gonna move on to this page. So this right here automatically says, do not drill hole of control switch before testing the cruise control. It's kind of funny to me because, I mean, I know they don't want you to drill into your vehicle until you make sure it works, but it's like we have to fish this control through there. And as you can see, this bolts on from this side. You fish the wires through, and then you plug these connectors in. So if we plug these in first, make sure everything works, and if it works, then we have to go in here and release these little tiny pins and then route it through the hole that we drill in our column and then plug it back in. And if you're like me, these little pins aggravate the piss out of you. I really can't stand them. There is a correct way to release them that's super easy. I know somebody's going to comment in the video to stop whining and just use the correct tool, but I think we are going to go ahead and drill ours and mount ours first, because even if this kit doesn't work, A, I don't care about the hole, and B, I'm going to try to get another one that does work and would mount on there. So I think I'm gonna get that drilled, pass that down through there, so that's done, and then we'll figure out where these go through, and we will go against what the manufacturer recommends, which is not to drill the hole first. All right, so to install your column piece, I'm gonna drill mine right here, which is gonna be on the left side of the steering wheel. And I have took the 3 bolts out the bottom. So there are 3 screws in the bottom that go in these holes right here. Okay, and they are little 5.5, so 5.5 millimeter screws, little tiny ones. You just get you a 5.5 socket and take them out. I've ripped this up enough to get it out of the way, pulled this down, and now I get my hole drilled right here. You want to make sure your lever's not in the way for the column. So my lever's back here, as you can see. So I think I'm going to put it, you know, more up here, and that also gets it more closer this way to the steering wheel, so it's a little easier to reach and it's not so far forward. So we're gonna try to put ours right in here, probably down low, because if you get up here too high, this thing sits, as you can see, this one right here clears to the bottom of this, so you're not gonna get in the way of this. You got this little open area right here, and it doesn't stick through a lot, but I want to try to get it, you know, about right here in the center of all this and far forward. So let me drill, it says a 3/8 hole, let me drill a 3/8 hole through there, get that mounted in there, get the wires fed through, and get it kicked out underneath the dash, and we'll move forward with wiring it. All right, so on your column, you do have, after you loosen your screw up, this little piece right here is angled. This is so you can tilt the control lever in whatever direction you want. So it's not necessarily has to just stick straight out the thing. It can tilt forward, up, or down, or whatever. Now you probably got to play with that to get it to the comfort that you want it. We're going to go ahead and feed these wires through and tight it down. We're going to tilt it just a little bit forward like this on the first try. I'm not putting them screws, lining all this crap back up until I for sure make sure it's going to work. So we'll just literally leave it loose like this for the test drive. Make sure it works before we fight with that aggravation of clipping all of these pieces back together and putting the screws back in. So we have our piece put on here, and this is literally just sitting here with one clip up here, so this is not right. It is put on, it is secured. That's where it's going to be. So I think that should work out perfect. You know, it's going to be right back there where you can grab it. We'll see though. So we're going to move on to the last wiring step. All I did is take that wire and just shoot it through there, lay it like basically in this piece of plastic, and then it falls out under the dash right here. So now we're just going to follow these wiring instructions right here. It's self-explanatory. It tells you on the paper the switch harness and then the your cruise control kit. So the wires that you're going to be connecting to, okay, you've got to put these end pieces, these little caps, you've got to stick these pins in there. Now they leave these caps off because of course when you drill your 3/8 hole, you're not gonna be able to get this square piece through a hole, so they have to leave that off for you to stick that through, and then you have to put these on, and then they are going to connect to this end of this individual harness that comes in the kit. So this is not plugged in. This white end, it will connect to your box, your cruise control box, and then these are gonna plug into there. So just follow the instructions on your kit. If I run into anything out of the ordinary, I'll let you know, but it tells you what colors to match up off of the switch to this harness to make sure everything plugs in correctly. All right, now when you're putting these pieces in, what I recommend is taking your empty connector piece right here, okay, and actually plugging it in onto the one it goes to, because you can get it backwards and then that's going to affect your order. So I would just plug it in like that, and then you just follow your instructions, you know, matching the wire colors. Now you do have, like right here is blue and yellow, and then this line's blue and yellow, but this one's red and this one's blue. So more than likely that doesn't matter, like which one you get to which, because more than likely the blue and yellow is like an input in and input out situation, and you can't really get it backwards. So it's not going to matter. It has a little star beside it. Let's see here, it says right here for the star, both blue and yellow wires are spliced together. Just connect one blue and yellow wire to the blue and the other to the red. The order does not matter. So yes, it confirms right there below. You see, sometimes I get ahead of myself and don't read. But what I like to do is plug your blank in there and then come right here and stick your pins in, okay? Try to stick them in decent. They're not going to go that great, but once you have your pins in and they are associated with this side in the correct order, then kind of carefully unplug that, come up inside the inside right there, okay? And then what I've done is took some needle nose pliers, grab your little pin up in here like this, and pull it forward, and you're going to hear it click, okay? When it clicks, that means that that little piece right here on the side, that little spike you can see, has engaged and it's locked in. If you don't lock these pins into these connectors, then when you go to push these together, it can push the pins out and then nothing's going to work. You're going to think you have a faulty unit or a problem, and really all it's going to be probably is that this little pin got pushed backwards and not in. So make sure you pull them forward so that your pins are all the way engaged, and that give them a little tug on the back side of the plug. Make sure they don't pull out. All right, and we went ahead and wrapped electrical tape around our wires. So that wire over there has got electrical tape. As you can see, that one's got electrical tape, just so there's not a bundled mess. Now it says in instructions that the wires that it does not call for using, which are gonna be these right here, to just leave them alone. The purple wire is extra long, so I cut it short so it matches the length of the other ones. I folded them up, rolled them up. You can just literally cut them right here and put a little piece of heat shrink on them. I might do that at the house here shortly, but for right now, we're just gonna leave that alone. These are the only two that I've left loose. These are the ones we tied into our your brake pedal. I'm gonna leave them loose for right now to make sure everything works, and then I might wrap these with electrical tape, or I might just simply roll these two up and put them in a zip tie whenever we mount this box up in there. I think I'm gonna leave everything dangling underneath here, kind of tuck it under the floor mat to drive it down the road to make sure everything works before we button everything up. The only other thing that I've done is your very last connector, your box right at the very end of your box is your OBD2. So it plugs into your OBD2 underneath here. Now to put a scanner on here or tuner or anything like that, you would have to unplug this. But it says in the instructions that if you don't want to use this OBD2 plug, you can cut the wires and solder the wires in the backside. However, I could care less. I don't keep trucks long enough, so the less work that I can do to a truck, the better. So I'm gonna leave that just plugged in. If you ever need to use a scanner, you have to just unplug the cruise control, plug the scanner in, do your scanner, and go from there. But again, if you wanted to hardwire that in, it has the instructions. It tells you exactly what pins to go into and all that, so that's nice. We'll keep these instructions in the glove box of trucks. When I do sell this in the future, the owner will have all the information. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this truck, but what we need to do now, our very last step, which I'm probably gonna go ahead and knock out real fast if I can find a power source in this truck, is to hook up a 12 volt the bread for the 12 volt ignition, and then hook your black up, which can just be grounded to anything metal. So let me see if I can find the 12 volt, get that hooked up, and then we will get out of here, get this shop shut up, head to the house, test the cruise on the way home. If it works, then in the driveway of the house, we'll button up the steering column and all that and get everything tucked up nice and neat and mounted. All right, so we come to the house. We ran out of time at the shop, so we come to the house to finish all of this up. Come in here and double check our power, and what you're going to use to get your 12 volt is you're going to use on this truck, the 17, you have these little switches right here. Okay, now these things unplug, so you just squeeze that, and this is going to be like your PTO and stuff like that. A lot of this is fused, so what you're looking for is the green wire with the orange stripe. That is going to be, let's see what it's labeled in the bundle. I think it's PTO 1. This is yellow and green. Yellow and green is right here, which I split open, and that's not correct. PTO was not. So green and orange is going to be your CBP22. Let's see if I can get that to focus. CBP22. That's going to be the green with the orange. That's the one we typed onto. This is going to be switched 12 volts. Now, of course, we'll have to run all these wires and bury this all where it looks good. It's not hanging all out everywhere. But for right now, I just wanted to make sure that works. Now, for your ground, what I've done for the ground is I've come up in here and I've hit that one right there. So this is actually the black wire that comes with the kit. So I've put it on that bolt, that way I don't have to add nothing. That's gonna be a good working ground. We're gonna test this out. I've got this bungee cord. I've got a bungee cord right here up to the mirror to keep it out of your feet, because when you're test driving, you don't want all these wires to get tangled up in your feet. We're gonna test this. If everything works good, then we'll hide the wires. All right, so we are test driving this, and I just tested it and everything worked perfect. So we're gonna get up to speeds up to 40. We've got it turned on. We're gonna come down here and push our set button, okay? We're at 40 miles an hour right now. Let's get around this curve. There's a car, let's be safe. Let's take our feet off of our pedal, and we're still at 40. We're holding at 40 perfectly fine, even with our feet off our pedal. So it worked. You hit the brake pedal like I just did right there, and now we're dropping down in speed below 40. So that's definitely a success, and that's going to be nice this weekend, traveling up to Rockingham to go to Dig or Die. Hopefully Turbo John gets a win in Dig or Die this weekend at the racetrack, and now we won't have to hold our foot on the accelerator pedal for 2 hours. So hopefully this helped. If it did, like, comment, subscribe. At least give me a thumbs up if it helped you out, and let me know in the comments, and maybe you'll stick around and join the family for more helpful automotive information. Thanks, y'all.